It's not a surprise, or it's not to anyone who do what I do. The behavior, the attitude, and the approach of white officers in black neighborhood in relation towards black men in this country, especially African Americans. White officers are the most deadliest, coldest, racist, judgmental, untrained people in uniform. Why did Dexter Reed, traffic stop, shootout, resulted into 4 officers shooting a black man 100 times in 41 seconds, with his body receiving 96 shots? I want you guys to watch the video. To watch the video. The civilian officers of the police accountability and an independent expert both said Monday that it appears 26 years old Dexter Reed was not the first individual to be harassed, to be profiled, to be attacked in this very, very same community and neighborhood. Dexter Reed is never the first individual. According to sources that Dexter Reed and other blacks have been constantly harassed, attacked, and wrongfully searched and wrongfully stopped by the white officers that are deployed on the 38th block of West Ferdinand Street. On the 38th block of West Ferdinand Street, these black males have indicated multiple times with consistent complaints sent to the COPA that these white officers wrongfully stop black men consistently, harass black men on the 58th block of Ferdinand Street consistently. Unjust stop, unreasonable stop, racial profiling, false stop, false accusation. Reports have flooded the COPA. Complaints of white officers in black neighborhood on the 58th block of Chicago, harassing blacks consistently on the south side of Chicago. Let me say again, on the south side of Chicago. We know on the south side of Chicago really is. We know on the south side of Chicago, it's us. On the south side of Chicago is where blacks, I've been on the south side of Chicago. It's us. And I know the time frame that I was there to now, it hasn't changed. Shot 100 times in 41 seconds. Body received 96 shots of the 100 shots that were taken in 41 seconds. The COPA is uncertain how the officers could have noticed that Dexter Reed was in a seatbelt violation. They are uncertain. How could they have known? This particular individual, this particular car, was driving at a particular time, at a particular place. How could they have known? How could these 4 white officers would have known that this white car, this individual by the name of Dexter, will be driving in this location at this time? So it indicates to them, based on the countless of complaints that have been sent to the COPA regarding these white officers who were randomly, consistently violating those black people rights on the south side of Chicago. The COPA are going back to look at these complaints, and in these complaints, they notice that these white officers will stop black men for no freaking reason. And that's how they assume this evidence that they have referenced complaints about white officers on the 58 block of Ferdinand Street on the south side of Chicago who were there not to legally, they were not legally ticketing black men. They were not legally arresting black men. They were not legally making traffic stops. They were illegally doing everything that was contrary to their frame of operation. So the COPA stated this evidence raises a serious concern about the validity of the traffic stops that led to the death of Dexter. So these complaints prior to Dexter getting shot and killed, we are seeing flooded of complaints from those who live on the 58 block of Ferdinand Street on the south side of Chicago, that officers were harassing them, shooting them, attacking them, wrongfully stopping them because they were black. Now, let's go back to where the COPA indicated something. How did these officers knew that Dexter was in a seatbelt violation? How did they know that he will be in a certain location at a certain time, driving a certain car, where 4 officers would assemble to make an arrest? That should tell you, that should tell anyone, this is the pattern of white officers. This is what these idiots do. These folks are in these neighborhood earmarking individuals. They are there getting familiar with the neighborhood and with the people with the intent to create chaos. That's how they would have known, because this is what they do. They know those individuals, those black people who live on the 58 block of Ferdinand Street, the south side of Chicago. These folks these white police officers put the uniform, sit in those neighborhoods for days, hours, studying the pattern, watching the neighborhood, watching how the people move and the things to do every single day. During the initial stop, according to body cam Reed remained in the car as he was pulled over, did not move. Put his car in parked while he sat in the car. He was asked to exit the car. From the driver's side door. He was what? Asked to exit the car on the driver's side door. Four white officer, as he was about to get off the car, with his back turned. With his back turned. As he was getting off his car with his back turned, most people think that's unusual. You know what I mean? That's what most people would assume. Why would you want to get off your car with your back turned? I mean, does it matter if you get off your car with your back turned or with your front face? That does not give an officer the legitimate reason to shoot a man 100 times in 41 seconds. Getting off his car with his back turned. 1, 2, 3 officers indicated he is about to run. While the fourth officer, which we would consider as the officer who engaged Reed, screamed as Reed reported back that Reed had a gun. Back returned, the officer who engaged Reed pulled back and screamed that he had a gun. The other 3 officers said he about to run. The officer who was close to Reed said he had a gun. And they all discharged. They all discharged 100 shots in 41 seconds. 100 shots in 41 seconds. Reed fell to the ground, according to the body cam, with his head pounded against the floor. Officer kept shooting as this man fell on the ground with his head pounded on the cement, on the concrete, on the street, bounced like a bouncing ball. Shot him as he lay motionlessly on the ground. Officer kept shooting additional 58 rounds. Additional 58 rounds. The officer fired approximately on his body or discovered 96 shots, which raised several questions about the proportionalistic or the proportion or the approach or the use of deadly force. According to the video camera, the shots were fired in ways and in forms that makes those who will watch the video to say, why are you still shooting 58 shots on a body that is motionless laying on the ground? Officers still shooting the body that is laying on the ground motionlessly. 58 shots. Let me say again, 58 shots on a body that is laying there emotionless. Based upon the serious nature of the allegation and on the nature of the video and on the amount of shots that were taken at Dexter Reed, a post of serious concern, a post of very, very serious concern by the COPA with regards to those initial hundreds of complaints of the white officers in this black neighborhood causing chaos. It will also discover that Dexter was not the only individual that these officers had shot more than 50 seconds, more than 41 seconds. There have been more individuals, according to reports sent to the COPA, that have received 50 shots, dead, and nothing has been done. There have been multiple incidents over incidents in 2015 where officers were killing blacks countlessly, and complaints were flooded into the COPA and nothing was done. So this is not something new. It's not something new. So if the COPA were adhering to these complaints brought by those citizens, or those citizens that live there, those black people who live on the south side of Chicago, Dexter would not have got his shot. 96 shots. That would have been some solution dealing with these racist cops on the south side of Chicago. In 2015, there were 110 black men shot, 50 plus shots on the south side of Chicago, with nothing being done. Let me say it again, with absolutely nothing being done. This is what the mother of Dexter stated. And before I even talk about what she stated, let me read something here that she addressed, actually. Yeah, she addressed. As major and as a father, a family, including 2 black boys on the west side of Chicago, I am personally devastated to see yet another young black man lost his life during an interaction with the white police. Johnson, the mayor of Chicago. Let me read that again. As mayor and as a father raising a family, including 2 black boys on the west side of Chicago, I am personally devastated to see yet another young black man lose his life during an interaction with the white police. Our heart breaks for the family of Dexter. They are grieving the loss of a young black man, a brother, and a nephew. My heart is broken. My heart hurts. My heart's pain, said the mayor of Chicago. This is a missing piece. This is a missing piece. This is a message. This is an intentional attack on black young men across America, Harris said. This is a missing piece. This is an attack on young black men across America by white police. If you fire, and this is something that I believe that Harris indicated that makes profound sense, there is just no way that these officers will know that Dexter, and this is how I say that, one of the prominent black leader in Chicago, there's no way that 4 officers at this given time will know that Dexter will be driving at this place at this time, where 4 officers will be there at that same given time. He said this is an orchestrated plot by these white officers since 2015, up to date, that we just knowing now because of the degree at which Dexter got shot. White cops are the most deadliest, the most invasive, the most dangerous force against black men in America. I've stated this many of times, multiple of times, countless of times across this country. Every major city, every major state you can think about that you've been to. I've been there. I have stated that. I've visited, I've been to places where black men have been shot and killed for these same identical reason by these same dumb racist cops who assemble, stage themselves, live in these neighborhoods, familiarize themselves with these people, or pretend like they're there for the best interests of these people. But they are there for the worst interests of these people. What makes this case even worse, and others that we don't know, is that they create an environment. They create a climate in black neighborhood with one intent: to kill black men. So if I was leave you on this note, and I'll leave this very strong and intensely, do not, in any form, as a black man, trust white police officers. In no way, in no form. It doesn't matter where they stage. It doesn't matter where they are. It doesn't matter how presentable they present themselves to you. That is a threat that can harm you in no time, can flip in no time. So they are not in our best interest. I love you and God bless.